Well, the court haven't even established jurisdiction. I mean, in order for jurisdiction has to be established first. I'm confused about what's actually going on. First off, who's alleging these charges? That's what I'm curious about.
You
There's a
don't have
common law principle which states that for there to
here.
be a crime, there must be a victim. Corpus delicti. The state cannot be the injured party. And in the absence of a victim, there can be no crime.
I'm going to hold Mr. Garner in contempt of court. He is directly violating the court's order.
All right, guys. This judge absolutely loses it on a smug sovereign citizen. And honestly, it's hilarious. This guy is in court facing 17 charges. Yes, 17. And he's pulling the usual sovereign citizen nonsense. I don't recognize the authority of this court. Like that's going to make the charges vanish. He's got the entire script memorized and just won't stop talking, no matter how many times a judge tells him to be quiet. Do you think the so-called sovereign is just plain delusional, or is he purposely dragging things out to try and force a mistrial or retrial? Let's dive into this courtroom circus and break down the madness.
To you, sir.
Good morning.
What is your middle name? Can you remove your hat, please? And your scarf. What is your middle name, Mr. Garner?
Errol.
Earl?
No.
Mr. Garner, do you want to offer on these or do you want to go to trial?
I would like to know what the charges are.
Okay. This is the city of Detroit versus James Earl Garner. Case number SP 11000435, counts 1, 2, and 3. SP 11695. Those are driving license expired, misdemeanor, no insurance, insurance misdemeanor. Thank you. And an improper plate misdemeanor. All of them punishable by maximum possible penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. SP 1169507, counts 1 and counts 2, expired license and no insurance misdemeanor, both punishable by 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. SP 1169521, same improper plates, same punishment, $500 in 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, maximum possible penalty. SP 1223079, driver one license suspended. SP 127-37681, SP 129-27512. Three of those tickets are all punishable by 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. SP 1547006, counts 1, counts 2, and counts 3. Those are civil infractions. SP 1547407, counts 1 and counts 2. Count 1 being a driver while license suspended repeat offender. This one is in warrant status, probably an old case that he didn't pay. SP 800104, counts 1 and counts 2. 1 being an unregistered untitled. He owes $1,194 on that. And SP and count 2 of that is a drug while license improper. It looks like he has a $114 fine on that. State of Michigan versus James Earl Garner, case number SX 36268561. That is a drug while license expired. And that will be $500 maximum possible penalty, 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. Appearance for the record, please.
Sherika Harris on behalf of Mr. Garner. Mr. Garner, please state your name for the record.
First off, I do have a couple.
You got to state your name first. You got to state your name first.
No,
Let's start there.
Wait a minute, Ms. Harris. Wait a minute, Ms. Harris. I think Mr. Garner is going to represent himself. Am I correct, Mr. Garner?
I'm representing myself in what? I mean,
So this guy's facing 17 charges, and now he suddenly doesn't want a lawyer? Yeah, makes total sense. Not. I'm genuinely curious. How do sovereign citizens even start thinking like this? Who's recruiting them? Is there some underground seminar where they all gather to learn phrases like, I do not consent to being governed, and hope the judge just shrugs and lets him go? It's wild because the law literally gives you the right to a lawyer, and this guy's like, nah, I got this, while standing in front of a judge who's clearly had enough of this nonsense. Seriously, though, where do they even find this stuff? YouTube? Reddit rabbit holes? Maybe they even stumble across videos like this and think, yep, this is a strategy for me. Quick PSA. If you're even thinking about becoming a sovereign citizen, don't. I've never seen one of these people win a case. Ever. Anyway, let's get back into this courtroom chaos.
About what's actually going on. First off, who's alleging these charges? That's what I'm curious about.
State of Michigan, City of Detroit.
Okay, well, if that's the case, there's a common law principle which states that for there to be a crime, there must be a victim. Corpus delicti. The state cannot be the injured party. And in the absence of a victim, there can be no crime.
We want to do it.
Withdrawing my name from the record on that one. Thank you.
I know. How do you want to proceed, Mr. Garner? You set the matter. I'll enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. Give him a $0 bond. Either set the matter for trial, or I'll wait for the city to give you an offer. What do you want to do?
Well, the court hasn't even established jurisdiction. I mean, in order for jurisdiction has to be established first, and there's no jurisdiction established. And once jurisdiction is challenged, that must be settled before charges can be brought.
All right. Do you want to put that in a motion, sir?
As far as I'm concerned, any and all charges must be dismissed because there is no complaining witness, and the state cannot be.
I'm not gonna listen. If that's your motion, I'm gonna deny the motion. Okay. So all we're gonna do now, we're not gonna keep going back and forth. Either you take an offer or you set the matter for trial. Which one do you want?
Respectfully, in order for this to continue, there must be a complaining witness, and the state cannot be a complaining witness. Now, if I'm entitled to a fair trial, the law states there must be a victim. I'm just requesting, who is the victim? Who did I injure?
The citizens of the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan are the victims.
The state cannot be a victim. And if that's the case,
I said the citizens of the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan are the victims.
if that's the case,
Mr. Garner, can we just go into a breakout room and then maybe I can give you a little bit of advice to assist you with moving forward? Would you be agreeable to that?
Sure.
Okay, awesome.
Saying respectfully right before completely disrespecting the judge? Yeah, that's not how that word works. This guy is totally out of line, and honestly, Judge Perkins really needs to take control here. At this point, the sovereign citizen is practically running the courtroom, making up rules, talking over the judge, and acting like he's the one in charge. Look, I know I've ran about Zoom courts before, they save money and all that, but when it comes to dealing with sovereign citizens, they just don't work. These people need to be in person. Once you put them in a real courtroom, face to face with a judge, this whole act usually falls apart. Sure, there are a few diehards, but for most, the embarrassment of pulling this nonsense in person is just too much. What do you guys think? Should the judge be more forceful, or is he handling it the right way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's jump back into the madness.
I believe he's ready, Your Honor. He's representing himself.
Let's go back on the record with Garner. What do you want to do, Mr. Garner? Do you want a trial date, or do you want an offer? Those are really your only two options.
Okay, since we are on the record, all I'm asking for is the
Okay, one last time. Now listen. Here's how it's going to go from this point on. If you don't answer the question that I asked specifically, then I'm going to hold you in contempt of court and we're gonna move from that point on, right?
So you're telling me,
Mr. Garner, we're
so
not
you're
gonna
telling
have
me
a
that the court is just going
we're
to
not gonna
violate the
have a
Constitution and the
conversation.
law?
Stop, sir. Stop, sir. Now, that's the last time I'm gonna ask you to.
On the law. Is that what I'm hearing?
All right.
I'm asking.
I'm gonna hold Mr. Garner in contempt of court. He is directly violating the court's order. I've asked him repeatedly to not interfere or add any extra commentary to this case. I've given him ample time to answer the court's question, and he continues to refuse to do so. So now I'm going to hold you in contempt, and I'm going to sentence you to 30 days Wayne County Jail, no early release.
So that means that the court is just going to violate my rights because I'm defending myself? Is that what I'm hearing?
30 days, Wayne County Jail, no early release. That'll give you some chance and some time to read up on your rights, okay? Fill out the contempt papers, Madam. So I'm going to order you to turn yourself in today, Mr. Garner, to start that jail time, okay?
So I have a question.
I'm not answering any more of your questions. Turn yourself in to the Wayne County Jail today.
So the court is going to be in direct violation of my rights in the law. Is that where we're standing?
That's how you feel. Have a good day, sir.
Well, that's more like it. I don't usually see Judge Perkins hand out contempt charges, so it was honestly refreshing to see him finally drop the hammer, even if it was a little overdue. But let's be real, the guy was straight up pushing every boundary he could. He had it coming. Judge Perkins had to remind the sovereign citizen how a courtroom actually works, and I don't blame him one bit. And now, predictably, the guy is claiming his rights were violated. Classic. That's always the go-to excuse once they realize they're cornered. It's hilarious how fast they start yelling about constitutional violations the moment they get held accountable for completely ignoring court orders. Like, dude, you made a scene. Don't blame the judge for your meltdown. It's wild how these people genuinely think this nonsense will fly, especially when it's obvious they have zero understanding of how the legal system actually works. The judge isn't here for your TED Talk on sovereignty or whatever fantasy law school you graduated from in a Facebook group. I know people have mixed opinions on sovereign citizens, but like I said earlier, it's just so hard to wrap your head around where they're coming from, who's teaching this stuff, and more importantly, why are they still falling for it? It literally never works. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Let me know what you thought about this courtroom showdown in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more wild court case content. I really appreciate the support, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care.